So the other most important part of debating, and again, seeing as everyone, absolutely everyone, I know people like to say that they didn't love it, but everyone loved all of my debate tutorials. But the other part of debating that people seem to overlook is offense. Now, today I'll be giving you a good guide to how to improve your offense. Now, typically offense, I just consider that to be your ability to attack a point, your ability to show defeat is within the other person's argument, or even just like being able to properly apply skepticism. So the first thing we'll start off with is actually skepticism. See, most people don't aren't actually able to apply skepticism well or properly. Usually you want to apply skepticism whenever there's a sort of claim that your opponent is making. And the claim isn't really predicated off of many things within the series, right? And the opponent typically is trying to turn it into meta debating, trying to turn it into a debate more about what you know outside of debating fiction. So like your philosophy knowledge, your ability to actually properly track an argument. So typically what you want to do if you're attacking those type of points and attacking those type of arguments is just keep asking them to prove the initial claim. Typically your opponent, if they're trying to go on to meta debating, is probably that they don't have much knowledge and they aren't very confident upon the initial point of that of like argumentation here. Like they when they're arguing, they just aren't very confident in the initial point. You see this in debaters like Godley, you see this in debaters like ERs. If they aren't confident in the topic that they're arguing about, typically you notice them want to, instead of actually arguing of a preponderance of evidence, they'll kind of stick onto one scan, like kind of just try and word their way around it, just sort of meta debating in a sense. And that's the type of thing you want to avoid. So typically you just need to ask for strong evidence towards the first claim. Now, equal interpretations are fine, but like to just actually increase your level of skill whenever you are applying these sort of equal interpretations, what you want to do is try and make a sort of unified interpretation, or I don't know how to explain this, but it's sort of like you need to unify, give a whole bunch of different interpretations to the scan and explain why you can all coincide all of them towards a different conclusion than the one the person on the affirmative is trying to argue, right? Sort of preponderances like that, but on the skeptic side. And if you feel as if that, oh yeah, this person knows a lot more than you, da 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 da, right? You won't really win in these sort of extended engagements. Just simple skepticism is fine. Like, of course, in debates, you don't always have to go the high road. You always don't have to, like, try and fight them at their best, try and like engage with them in what they're best at, engage with them on what they know the most about. Instead, what you want to do is play it smart, because again, debates are ultimately are tests of intelligence. So being able to point out and actually poke at the weaknesses in somebody's argument while taking off the least amount of evidence or doing the least amount of effort, that is a just high level intelligence, you know what I mean? So another good point to try and do is, if you're new to debating, what you want to do, and I can't stress this enough, is read the topic you're talking about. See, there are many people in the fiction community who've become very, very known and very, very well off. They've even turned into tier threes just by like knowing the series that they're talking about, right? And being able to argue properly without actually like even knowing much about fallacies, right? So even if they aren't able to track the argument, they like, at least if their tracking is up to par, they're still able to defeat the argument through sheer knowledge, right? So what you want to do is read up a lot about the series you're talking about, and I mean a lot. So that's all, not only, or like even the series or even the topic. So like, so even if you're debating, like for example, abortion, you want to read everything about abortion. You need to know a lot. Your knowledge needs to be up to par. If your argumentation is lacking, you need to make up for it with knowledge, right? So again, high level amounts of knowledge helps you defeat simple skepticism, right? Again, simple skepticism doesn't really work at a certain skill level. So again, typically you want to go after the weakest argument first. There would be no point in arguing them like over the strongest part of the argument. So for example, if somebody makes a three premise argument and you see that premise two is the weakest one, what's the point of attacking the third one just because you want to beat them at their strongest? Still beating them is like enough to prove that you're better, you're a better debater, you're smarter than them, you're able to outthink them. When they think you're going to attack the strongest one and they already have defensives specifically catered to defending the strongest one, you go after the one they have lacked on, right? You attack the weak point. So again, I don't understand like this sort of quote unquote high rise honorable type debating where they specifically choose to attack the strongest part of somebody's argument instead of pointing out the obvious flaw. And it's like nobody does that in even any aspect of debating. Like you'll not notice in anywhere, right? People won't like compliment you for winning on the strongest argument and then losing to the weaker ones, right? People won't compliment you for that. People will compliment you for winning. So try and attack the weakest parts of somebody's argument first. Again, so if it's like Naruto over Ichigo over Goku, if you notice that Naruto over Ichigo is the weakest part, Don't attack Ichigo over Goku. Don't attack any of the other bits. Attack the weakest part. That's the easiest thing you need to do. You're on the offense, right? So you don't need to prove much, right? They need to justify their entire scaling to be able to win a debate. They need to justify their entire worldview if you're debating philosophy to win, right? If you're just playing a skeptic, you don't need to do too much. So again, a good strategy if you're debating, you just don't do too much. Like I see people who are debating, they try and overcommit on the offense, they place burdens on themselves that they don't need to prove. And when you like, you either have to a walk back on the burden, right? And then not only do you just seem less optically appealing, but that also counts as a point you just lost because you weren't able to control your mouth, control your tongue. So you need to be able to just not do too much when you're debating. I don't understand why people do this like a lot. So again, yeah, and in sort of fiction debates, because like a wide variety of my audience are fiction debaters, right? Again, what you want to do, you can try like a more defensive account of offense. I don't know like how to explain it better. It's like you could, instead of going after them and being like why, right, towards certain parts of their scaling. Again, what you could do is just, and I mentioned this something like this in my defense video as well. Just point out the flaws, right? Display to them the flaws. So then not only does it look like, oh yeah, you know more than them. So it now seems like you're teaching them about the topic that they're talking about. But also it just shows that yeah, you're able to place burdens upon yourself as well, right? And you also have that extra cushioning of, oh yeah, even if you don't prove that they're wrong, they still haven't proven that they're right. So you have that extra cushioning as well. So you shouldn't be afraid to, try and like stand on these type of points, because obviously you not proving that you're wrong is like me not proving the earth is flat, right? Or the earth isn't flat. Doesn't suddenly mean that the other person is right about the earth being like fucking flat, bro. Like, oh wait, let me reword that. Me not proving that the earth isn't flat isn't evidence that the earth isn't actually flat. And it doesn't prove that the person has like proven that the earth is flat, if you get what I mean. Like, you don't need to like overcommit on these type of things, and people seem to like forget about simple things like that. Like offense, I think is one of the easier parts of debating. I've seen people at a very high level, they are able to just get by using only defense, use it, and instead like in terms of offense, all they do is just go why, and it's like, yeah, it might be annoying, but the skill comes from like also called the ability to actually defend their points at a high level, right? So even though offense, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, offense is the less important aspect compared to defense. Still, it is something that is undeniably a good trait to have. You can improve your offense by tracking better. Tracking better is one of the best ways you can improve your offense, because not only does it allow you to, typically point out flaws that your opponent wouldn't regularly notice, right, in their own argument, and you can improve these type of aspects like tracking by, one, the first bit is just debating more. If you debate more, you listen to more people debate, then you actually be able to notice that, oh yeah, this other person is like, he's tracking as well as I am, right? And the second thing is just like, I don't understand why people don't do this, and I can't stress this enough. You can peer review your arguments, right? So you can go up to other people and be like, hey, there's this argument. Tell me all of the flaws in it. Let me see if I have it defeated to them. And you don't do some like pre-prepared type refutations to the argument, because then there's no point, right? You already know it. You need to be able to hear new perspectives about your argument, new different new different points of view, and then once they give you their point of view, you're able to shut them down and shut all of their refutations down, even without having like prior knowledge to it. Like in every debate you have, it's not going to be that, oh, you have like prep time, or you have like time to prepare. No, not all of your debates are going to be like that. Your debates, like if you're in the fiction community at least, your debates are going to be on the spot. You don't like, sure, you may have like scans or evidence like like set up beforehand, but still you're going to have to like create refutations on the spot, and nobody's going to give you time to think, right? So your ability to think on your feet is just one of the best aspects that you may have for like debating in general. And I don't understand, why do I like send these type of videos to like people who are really really bad, so like Flames for example, or Senju for example. It's like I send this to people who are really really bad and they think it's an insult. It's like, yes, it is insulting that you are an idiot and you're bad, right? But again, there's nothing you can do about that. So here, let me help you improve, if you get what I mean, right? But yeah, this one is a little bit shorter than the offense one because there's a lot less to say. Again, yeah, at least in my personal opinion, the best and most optically pleasing type of offense is defensive offense, if you get what I mean. And but you don't want to, do that if you're an idiot and you're really bad. So simple skepticism works a little bit, but then when you do it too much, then like you just runs into you being a rat. So again, you might want to like mix the two together. So you may go why a little bit. Then you also mix it in with the opportunity of like proving them wrong instead of allowing them to prove why they are right, if you get what I mean. So again, if somebody's a flat earther, you're debating them, prove them wrong before they give you the evidence of them being right. Right. And then they have to refute it, you know what I mean? And then you also have the extra cushion as well because they haven't proven themselves right, you know what I mean? So again, that's it for the video. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. This time the third. This has been Shinra, and I'm out.